and I will be a SA for today's meeting. I welcome you all to our joint meeting of Toastmaster Clubs of Storytellers and Leaders Connect of Toastmaster Clubs. Before start the meeting, I would like to mention three ground rules we follow in our Toastmaster meetings. As Toastmaster, we don't talk about sex, religion, and politics. So please refrain from discussing these topics. Please put yourself on mute if you are not speaking. Please turn off your video if you are stepping out of the meeting. Before we begin, let me take a moment to remind us all of why we are here. The core mission of Toastmasters, the mission of our Toastmaster Club is to provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which the members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in a great self confidence and personal growth. With this, I announce the meeting as open and hand over the stage to our presiding officer, Toastmaster Hirendra. Over to you, Toastmaster Hirendra.
Thank you, Toastmasters Mukesh. Please give him a good round of applause. The meeting was a very good note. And good morning, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I see few guests have joined. So, Ayush, would you like to share, uh, possibly in a brief, uh, how did you hear and about yourself?
Yes. So I was just like looking for a group where I can practice communication skills. Sometimes like I am good when communicating with others, sometimes I'm not. So I was, looking for if I can get a structure or like something like, I can learn and I know where when I'm going right and when I'm going wrong. So that's the main motivation why I wanted to join. And I just like looked up online and found this Toastmaster website from where I got the link. Yeah. So this was the only club which suited my schedule. So, and it was online, which is good for me. So yeah, that's why.
Thank you, Ashish. You're more than welcome, and I guarantee you are at a very safe pace, and hopefully you would enjoy the meeting. We'll connect you towards the fag end of the meeting and see if you have any suggestions and feedback for us.
All
I
right.
see another
Thank you.
guest, Deepak. Would you like to share in brief what brings you in our meeting and introduce yourself?
Yeah, yeah. Hello, all. My name is Deepak, and actually, I am in Delhi for more than around 10 years now. So, wanted to uh, uh, wanted to improve my communication as well as leadership skills. So, I have been introduced by Hirender you because I know you personally. So, so it is nice to
Welcome.
meet you all, and yeah, looking forward to learn from these meetings and all. Yep.
Thank you, Deepak. You're more than welcome. Uh, I know, Gopal, you're here for evaluation, but would you like to briefly introduce yourself?
Sure, sure. Thank you, Toastmaster Hiren. My name is Gopal Juneja, and I work in Samsung and heading a design team over there. I'm into the UX design line, and I have been associated with the Toastmaster fraternity till 2018 January. So it's been a long journey. It's a really a great platform. And I saw a message yesterday that there is a meeting on Sunday, 10:30, which is a perfect time. So I thought that let's catch up and join meeting, learn from the great people. Thank you.
Thank you, Gopal. Looking forward to see you more in our meeting, and we'll see. So, everyone, I am Hirender. I'll be playing presiding officer for today's meeting. We have an exciting meeting agenda where we'll have speechathon, which will be moderated by none other than distinguished Toastmaster Mohit. So, without further ado, let me welcome distinguished Toastmaster Mohit to take it forward. Over to you, Toastmaster Mohit.
Thank you.
You are on mute, I believe, or it's me.
Am I audible?
You're audible now.
Yes, now.
Okay. Thank you. So once again, welcome everyone to this joint meeting of Toastmasters Club of Storytellers and Leaders Connect Toastmasters Club. We have been meeting online for a long time now, and one new thing that we are starting to do is that we will be having our offline club also coming up soon. So we have been doing these hybrid meetings, and you would, if you are in Delhi and NCR, you can attend the meetings offline also, as and when you possibly can. So if this is your first Toastmasters meeting, then welcome. If it is not, then welcome back to challenging your comfort zone by being here today. Toastmasters is a place where ordinary people do extraordinary thing. It could be one speech, it could be one thought, or it could be a courageous attempt to come forward and share your feelings. So today's meeting promises a lot of learning, growth, and laughter, maybe, because we have a speechathon coming up. We have 6 fantastic speakers who will be speaking from the bottom of their heart. And I, as your moderator of the day, will try and ensure that the meeting flows seamlessly. So let's silence our mobile phones and let's open our minds so that we can begin. Those of you who are joining us for the first time, I must tell you the structure of a Toastmasters meeting. So Ayush, this is where you would get to know what happens in this meeting. The structure of the meeting remains more or less same across all the Toastmasters clubs all over the world. It's basically divided into 3 parts. We start off with prepared speeches, which are based out of the Toastmasters education pathway, which is the education program of Toastmasters. The second segment is typically the Toastmasters table topics segment, which is impromptu speaking, where we are given a topic to speak on and we think and speak right away for 1 to 2 minutes. It challenges us and it teaches us to speak on the spot whenever we are, for example, in an interview or suddenly we get asked by our boss something. So those are the skills that that segment teaches us. And the third segment of a Toastmasters meeting is evaluation. This is where we learn the key takeaways from the meetings, what went well, what can we do better. And normally there's a general evaluator who comes forward with his or her team to look at the different aspects of the Toastmasters speeches and the entire meeting. So those are the 3 segments of any Toastmasters meeting. Today is a special meeting. It's a speechathon where we do not have a table topic segment today. We have all speeches, 6 speeches, so that will take away all of the time. And we don't have a general evaluator per se, but we do have the role of the timer, grammarian, and counter, which are the key roles that general evaluator takes care of. So I would like to first call on stage our timer for the day to come forward and share what he would be noting as part of his role as the timer. So Toastmaster Mukesh, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mohit. Hello, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guest once again. So, timing is the heartbeat of a great speech. As a timer, my role is to help our speakers stay within their allotted time frame so we can stay on track with our agenda. as we know, we are have all the speeches like today. We don't have the table topics. So I think the speeches timing will be the 5 to 7 minutes for most of the speeches. And can I share my screen, Mohit?
Yes, please go ahead.
Uh, mm, okay. So hope you can see my screen. So for prepared speeches, I will show like the green card after 5 minutes, yellow at 6, and the red card at 7 minutes. You can see the timer will be start playing here. This you can see the green, yellow, and red card after certain duration of time for the each speeches. I will keep a careful eye on the clock and provide a report when called upon once again. Back to you, Toastmasters Mohit.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mukesh, for explaining your role so well. And for those of you who don't know, Toastmaster Mukesh is working with McKinsey, and we know that he recently moved from a back end role to a more front end role where he talks and meets with the clients directly. So, thank you, Mukesh, once again for explaining your role as the timer for the day. I would next like to call on stage our grammarian of the day, who's being played by Toastmaster Akshit. And Toastmaster Akshit, let me spotlight you first. Toastmaster Akshit is part of a consultancy firm, and he, among many other things that he enjoys to do, he loves to play the guitar, and he has promised that he'll play the guitar for us soon enough. If not today, then in the next meeting when he joins. So, with that, I would like to request Toastmaster Akshit to share his role as the grammarian.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mo, for that wonderful introduction. Morning, everyone. I hope all of you are excited about this speech marathon today. As a grammarian, my objective is to understand or highlight how the language is being used throughout the meeting. So that means what are the examples of effective language use, some of those good words, phrases which have been used throughout the meeting, while also highlighting some of the areas which need refinement. For example, if there are any grammatical slips, some awkward constructions which happen along the way. And along with that, I'll also leave you with the word of the day and phrase of the day. Intent is that we use these as much as possible during the meeting. So the word of the day for today is spontaneous. While I understand the intent is to have a lot of these planned speeches for today, but I'm sure there will be moments when you'll have to spontaneously think about something. And this phrase of the day is played by ear along the same theme. It means responding to a situation as it unfolds. So you're not sticking to a plan, you're responding to a situation. For example, today I'm playing it by the ear while I'm picking the word of the day and phrase of the day. So those are the two I leave you with. Again, encourage you all to use these as much as possible during the meeting. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Akshit. So, request everybody to use the word of the day and the phrase of the day. The word of the day, I would request Akshit to put it on the chat also. The word of the day was spontaneous, and the phrase of the day was to play it by the ear.
Ear, yeah,
Is that
yeah. I'll,
okay?
I'll I'll put it on the chat.
Thank you, Toastmaster Akshit, and thank you for picking up the role spontaneously as the grammarian today. Next up, I would like to call on stage our R counter of the day. Our R counter today is being played by Toastmaster Winnie. Toastmaster Winnie lives in Gurgaon, and she has wanted to join Toastmasters for a long time. Finally, she made up her mind and she has joined Toastmasters. I know she was first interested in an offline meeting, but she's enjoying the online setup as well. And with the hybrid coming up, I'm sure you can attend some of the meetings in person also soon enough. Over to you, Vinny, as your role as the R counter. Please explain us what you will be covering today.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mohit. Um, Hi, I'm Winnie, and I'll be the R counter of the day, which means I'll be keeping a track of all the CRPFs. So, for those of you who are not aware what CRPF means, C stands for crutch words. Crutch words are the words like, naturally, basically, obviously, like, etc. R stands for repeated words, P stands for pauses, and F stands for filler. Similarly, similar to crutch words, we have filler words also like as, ers, etc., which unintentionally in the conversation and reduce the clarity of the message. Then there could be repeated words or longer than required pauses when a speaker tries to recollect some part of his forgotten speech. So I'll be keeping a track of all of these words, and the objective again of this role is to help us reduce such kind of words are clear, and we have more confident messages. So I'll be presenting my report at the end of the session when required. Thank you so much. Over to you, Toastmaster Mohit.
Thank you, Toastmaster Winnie. Huge round of applause for Toastmaster Winnie. And just so you know, Toastmaster Winnie, today your network connection seems to be a bit shaky, uh, but we were able to follow what you said. Maybe you can do something about it the next time you come up on stage. All right. Okay. So with that, we are ready to start off our speechathon. We have 6 speakers lined up here today, and the first speaker we have is, before I actually introduce her, I would like to give some hints about who the speaker is, and let's see who can guess. Okay. So our first speaker believes that she's perfect in her imperfect world. That's the first hint. Can anybody guess? I'll give
It's
3 hints.
Toastmaster Mehak.
Okay.
I
How did you
recall of
know that?
this. I think this line she used in her last speech, so I could recollect.
Fantastic. A huge round of applause for Toastmaster Heyender for being an active listener. Okay, what else I had covered about her was that she's an author and she is the Table Topics Club level champion for us as well. Before I invite Toastmaster Mehak on the stage for her speech, I would like to request her evaluator, who's being played by Toastmaster Gopal today. We already know Toastmaster Gopal. He works as a UX designer at Samsung and he's a Toastmaster since 2018. I would like to request Toastmaster Gopal to come forward and share the objectives for Toastmaster Mehak's speech.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mohit. Toastmaster Mehak is going to deliver her speech from the pathway engaging humor. It's her level 1 project 4. And the purpose of the speech is to apply feedback received in the last speech and the feedback that was given that was around the body language. So my focus will be there on the body language. And I would say that for the timer, the time allocated for the speaker is 5 to 7 minutes. All the best, Toastmaster Mohak.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gopal. Toastmaster Mehak, let's do a quick audio video check. Can you say after me, I'm perfect in my imperfect world?
I'm perfect in my imperfect world.
Okay, I could hear and I can see you perfectly fine, Toastmaster Mehak. Toastmaster Mehak, Mehak Kapoor, Gen Z in C Town, Gen Z in C Town, Mehak Kapoor.
It was 22nd May, and I stepped into the office of Times of India for my interview, admiring the looks of the workplace. On my way to the interview's cabin, I noticed funky attires, bean bags, dumbbells, board games, and an aesthetic cafe, all within the vicinity of 200 meters. I stepped into my manager's cabin with a polite knock on the door. May I come in, sir? May I sit here, sir? Following those yes, sir, conventional norms of the corporate until I got in. It was then when I realized that things have changed. We are seeking someone with new ideas, great skills, spontaneous with new concepts and ideation. Someone who is a Gen Z, said my manager. He continued and shared his pain about how workplace dynamics have been changing due to the onset of artificial intelligence and Gen Z. The sheer expression of fear was evident in his face throughout the interview. He expressed that due to these emerging technologies, we fear losing our jobs to AI. And for this, we are now considering the revaluation and have opted to hire new generation. And since that day, not even a single day has passed when I've not heard this term, the Gen Z. Cut to my first day, as I stepped towards my desk, I saw the new generation working while sitting on beanbags, recliners, and even on tables, folding in their knees as well. While the millennials, they were at the conventional 9 to 5 desk. I saw Gen Z doom scrolling while working, and while millennials were catching up with their peers in their free time. Gen Z all decked up in their best attire, with loud makeup and Stanley in one hand, and millennials with that same old rough white collared shirt, tiffin in one hand, and a thermos bottle in another. What really caught my attention was the Gen Z lingo. All these years in my college, I prepared myself for the corporate vocabulary, that circling back, touch base, only to realize that that thing has become past. I soon realized that this buzz is real and corporations are indeed changing. And for me, now the thing is adapting to this new normal. One day, while all of us Gen Z were sitting, there was a random comment like someone popped up and said, आज तो सबकी फील्डिंग सेट है. Well, I was still decoding the meaning of this word. Clueless, I had no idea what was this meant. So I googled it quickly. What does the term fielding set means? And the Google answered, fielding up or setting up fielding can imply setting up someone for a confrontation or setting them up for a failure or causing trouble for them. It does not end here. I have a list of the Gen Z vocabulary now that says aura plus plus, aura minus, it's crazy, crazy happening here, FR for real, vibes, brain rot, slay, aesthetic, and the list goes on and on and on. This is where I realized that C count is changing and Gen Z is the new lingo. So that's where I realized that Gen Z is not here to ruin the corporate culture. And no, millennials are not outdated yet. What's really happening is simple. Workplaces are evolving. Every generation brings something new to the table, whether it's experiences, discipline, curiosity, chaos, innovation, and yes, new vocabulary as well. Change is often seen as uncomfortable. And for me, it is difficult and uncomfortable as well. but resisting it has never been the solution. Whether it's AI, Gen Z, beanbags replacing the chairs, or meetings that should have been emails, the answer isn't fear. The answer is adaptation. So instead of asking, why is this generation like this? Maybe we should ask, what can we learn from each other? I am still adapting to this culture. What about you? Postscript, us by us is the most cryptic lingo that I've heard ever. And what is this for real? And this Stanley, I still cannot understand. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mehak, for that amazing speech. I got to learn a lot of Gen Z words simply by listening to your speech today. And you have a wonderful vibe. I would request all the audience members to share your feedback with Toastmaster Mehak by putting it on the chat box. Do mention what you liked and what do you think can be improved in her speech. Timer requests you to give 1 minute for that. And while people are putting their comments, Toastmaster Mehak, just one thing to mention from my side about your network. It isn't as good as it usually is, and therefore it was a bit difficult to hear each word. So please see if you can do something about it for the rest of the meeting. We can manage to hear you, but it's breaking a bit in between.
One minute is over.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Mukesh. Now it's time for us to call on our next speaker. Okay, our next speaker for today. Again, I'm going to give some hints and I'll want you to guess who that person is without cheating, of course. Checking if I have the speaker in the room. Yes, we do. So our second speaker for the day is someone who lives in Mumbai. That's the first hint. This person, just stop me if you know you can guess. Okay. This person is a business analyst. No guesses yet. I'm coming up with my last and final hint. I have a show of hand by Toastmaster Akshit. Please go ahead.
Would it be Toastmaster Rashi?
Exactly. Yes, it is Toastmaster Rashi. How did you guess?
So one you said business analyst, and second she's also standing up. So both of these things help.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, not bad, not bad. And the third one that I had noted as hint was that she believes in questioning biases, and we've seen that time and again in her speeches and in her table topics. So Toastmaster Rashi will be evaluated by myself today. She's going to deliver her spotlight her. Toastmaster Rashi is delivering her presentation mastery project. It's level 1, project 3, which is about introducing body language and vocal variety. So it's a 2 to 3 minute. Rashi, you can just correct me. What's the duration of the speech? Is it 2 to 3 minutes?
Yes, yes. I'm just
Okay.
trying to practice it.
Okay. So timer, please note this will be a 2 to 3 minutes speech. You can show uh, green card at 2, yellow at 2:30, and red at 3. And
Yes, sure.
I will be, thank you, Master Mukesh. So I will be particularly noting how the speaker uses her body language and vocal variety in the delivery. So Toastmaster Rashi, let's do a audio video check. Can you say after me, I believe in questioning biases?
I believe in questioning biases.
I don't know if it is just for me, but I think there is something not quite right in the audio. Can someone else confirm if you're able to hear all right?
It's a
Let's
little
say it one more
muffled.
time.
Okay.
Yeah.
I believe in questioning biases. Is it okay now? Better?
Yes, it
You're
is.
able to hear Mohit.
Sorry, somebody was saying something.
Uh, why I can't
Yeah,
hear you? One second. Yeah. Um. Now I'm audible.
Yes, you are.
Yes, you are.
you are.
Is it clear and fine?
Yes, it is fine, Rashi. Yes.
Okay.
S- So let's begin. Rashi Jain, a moment I almost didn't act. A moment I almost didn't act. Rashi Jain.
One evening, I was heading towards the station from the library. I was about to take the turn. I saw a person lying on the floor. I was startled. There was a usual crowd around, but nobody was paying attention to him. And what confused me was that person looked well dressed, clean clothes, didn't look homeless. And I was not sure at that particular time that if he needed help. And I did what most people do, kept walking. But even when I walked away, these questions stayed in my mind. What if that's a medical emergency? What if he needed help? What if avoiding him made things worse? I boarded the train. Next compartment, I noticed railway police. I hesitated, but then I walked up to him and explained him everything. And I asked him if he could check, if he could ask someone to check him. He told me, Madam, it's a daily thing. It's normal. He must be probably drunk. I nodded, but I wasn't fully convinced. I I went home. Next morning, when I came back to the library, I checked the spot. Nobody was there. And quietly in my heart, I prayed that he must be probably drunk and not sick. But that event stayed in my mind. And I felt guilty of not acting on that day. So I promised myself that next time if I came across such a situation, I'll call the authorities. I'll check upon the person or I ask someone to check upon that person immediately. And I will try to be a better citizen and not just getting passed away the situation. I felt that it is very easy to walk past by such situations and most people do that, and we should be a better and we should act like a better citizens, not just acting when things directly affect us. So that was the moment for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rashi. What a touching anecdote you've shared with all of us today. And yes, it's all about learning from our mistakes, and that's what the key message for me is from your speech. Thank you once again, and requesting the audience members to share their comments on the group chat. And timer, let's give this 1 minute.
I'll also request the speakers to actively try to use the word of the day spontaneous and this phrase of the day played by ear. I know it's very difficult when we have planned speeches, but this spontaneity would really help us.
Thank you, Toastmaster Akshit, for reminding us to use the word of the day, spontaneous, and the phrase of the day, run
Played
it
by ear.
by, play it
Played by
by
ear.
the year,
Yeah.
played by ear. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, I saw that we have a raise of hand. Toast or soon to be Toastmaster Ayush, do you have anything that you would like to share?
Sorry, that was me. I just did that by mistake. Sorry about that.
Oh, no worries. This is a place where you can make mistakes and learn from those.
Yes. Hello everyone. 1 minute is over. Yes.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mukesh. It's time for us to call on stage our next speaker. And once again, we will do some guessing game here, checking if the speaker is in the room. Okay, so let's be ready. You can raise your hand, make some noise when you can guess it right. I'm coming up with the first hint for this speaker. He's a, or should I say, this person is a black belt in martial arts. Okay, I'll keep going. This person is, okay, Rashi has already spilled the beans in the group chat. Yes, Rashi, how did you know that? How could you guess, Rashi? Okay, yes, he has told us earlier in the meeting that yes, he's a black belt in martial arts. He's a finance specialist and he's passionate about cricket. So our next speaker is Toastmaster Hirinder. Before I invite Toastmaster Hirinder, I would like to call upon his evaluator, who was going to be Toastmaster Kanchan. Do we have Toastmaster Kanchan? Yes, Toastmaster Kanchan, would you like to share the objectives for Toastmaster Hirender's speech today? And also, if you could introduce a bit about yourself, that would be great. Over to you, Toastmaster Kanchan.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mohammed. Good evening. Okay, I'm sorry. Good morning, everyone. And I'm having some background noise because I'm working today. And my name is Kanchan Maurya, and I'm from PMND Toastmaster Club. I work as technical manager, and today I'm evaluating the speech of Toastmaster Virender. He is delivering the speech from level 2, and the speech title is The Secret of Language. The speech objective is to understand the communication style. Timer, I request, please note that the timing would be 5 to 7 minutes. My responsibility is listening to the speech carefully and to give some constructive feedback. I wish I wish you all the best to the speaker. Thank you and back to you.
Mohit, you're not audible. I don't know if it's my network or if everyone else.
Hello. Am I
Yeah,
audible
now I
now?
can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay. I cannot see you, Toastmaster Render. Would you like to switch on your camera?
Yeah, the moment I switch on my camera, I get like stuck. So is it
Oh,
okay
okay.
if I keep my camera off today? I'm having really bad network today.
Okay. Okay. Sure,
So maybe I switch on,
Toastmaster
then
Render.
I'll switch.
Okay. Okay, we can go without the camera if that's the issue. I can hear you all right.
Okay.
So, yeah, but maybe just to check if you could repeat after me. I love cricket.
Absolutely. I love cricket. I hope I'm
Perfect.
audible.
Okay. Yes, you are. And you are visible as well now. It's fantastic to see you.
Thank you.
Okay.
So should
Hirender, yeah, I'll just call you and then the stage will be yours. Hirender Chauhan, Secret of Language. Secret of Language, Hirender Chauhan.
thank you, Mohit. Have we ever said something very simple as, can you please pass on that file to me, and get a response as if you've asked for a kidney? So that's when we realize that we not only speak different language, we speak different communication style. So let's discuss these communication style and dive into the first in the four major categories comes the direct one. They are the one who are talk. They talk like a PowerPoint uh, bullet points, very sharp, short, crisp. And imagine the direct communicator had a GPS. It would say, make left, don't argue. So most likely it's a one-way communication. The strength in this type of communication is that it they get the thing done. They are to the point, most likely very clear. The weakness in this type of communication is that you may scare your listener without any bad intention. So next comes the analytical one. They are the one who likes to analyze things before. They are the one probably having a blood group of Excel positive. So if you ask them a feedback or a quick feedback, they might come come back and ask you, can you share the 3 month report, or maybe the competitors report, or any trend. The point is, before this they speak, they like to think and analyze. The strength in this type of communication is they think, and they are data driven. If they're taking decision, it must be based out of some data or some historical experiences. The weakness in this type of communication is that by the time they finish their thought process, the meeting is already over. Next comes the collaborative one, our favorite one. They are the people with warmth, greetings, they create a very supportive environment. Everyone look forward to speak to them. Um, so in a very rare instance, like I remember one of my colleague, if they do not like whatever you said or your idea, the typical response you would get is, uh, I understand your point. It's a great point. But maybe, possibly, could you please choose an alternative? It's only if you are comfortable. The idea behind this type of communicator is that they do not want to annoy people. They want to take care of everything, even their office plant. They they like to make a harmony. The positive or the strength in this type of communication is that it creates harmony, a strength, a collaboration, a teamwork. They enhance and they uh, promote the teamwork. The weakness in this type of communication is that uh, taking a decision with this type of communication is really difficult because you do not want to annoy people. You want to take a decision where everyone agrees, which happens once in a million years. Somebody or other will have different opinion. And now comes the expressive one. They are the one, when you speak to them, they will speak with their eye movement. They will have their hand gesture. They they will have their feet movement, their body, and their entire body speaks when they speak. The positive or the strength in this type of communication is that they're very engaging. They they like to describe things in a detailed manner. Um, and the story starts for them in 2020. If you're lucky, the point may come in 2026. The positive in this type of communication is, or the strength in this type of communication is that they inspire people to take action. We get inspired whenever we listen to this type of communication. And the weakness in this, like I said, that they never able to complete or conclude within the time frame. By the time they arrive to the point, it's too late, or it doesn't really hold the merit to be discussed. So out of these four communication style, uh, the 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 crux that I could identify while I was just going through is that when we are speaking to anyone or everyone, it's it's better if we understand the communication style of our partner, the one who we are supposed to interact, and base based on their preference, we should adopt. For example, if I am an expressive communicator and I have to speak to something, or I need something from a person who speaks direct communication, it's better that I cut down the extra information and come to the point. Otherwise, it would be really annoying for him or her to wait because they want things really in a direct manner or direct to the point. And if you are a direct communicator and if you want something from an analytical person or person who speaks analytical communication, it's better you give some background, some data, some detail, why we need this, why we are doing this, the why, because that is what important to them. So that's all, and I wish all the best to all the next speakers. Thank you, and over to you, Toastmaster Mohit.
Thank you, Toastmaster Hirinder. Yeah, knowing about these different communication styles can help us in adapting our own styles, like you said. So thank you for sharing those with us. And I'm requesting all the audience members now to share your comments for Toastmaster Hirender's speech. We'll again give it 1 minute. Toastmaster Hirender, while people are putting their comments, what do you think is your communication style?
I think it's more of a direct communication that I use, but I am working on it to at least use some form of the expressive one, especially with my kids. I
Yeah.
asked my daughter other day that what do you think while I was just preparing this? What do you think my communication? So straight away they said you're direct.
Okay, yeah. And when a kid says something, you can trust that they are, you know, always going to say the
Yeah,
truth. They don't
yeah,
have any
without
filters.
filter.
So
Yeah, without.
good, good. Yeah, but but yeah, the good news is that you now know about the different communication styles, and like you said in your speech, we can adapt based on who we are speaking to. And
Yes.
okay,
1 minute is over.
thank you, Toastmaster Mukesh. Time for us to call on stage our next speaker. Our next speaker loves to code. Okay. She loves coding. Okay, we already have a raise of hand. It's not you, Soumya. You love to code as well, I think. Okay, yo, go ahead.
No, I had a general question. Can we guess if we know the order?
Can we guess if we know the order? Yeah, try forgetting that you already know and then just guess based on the hints only. Because I'm going to check, like I'm doing, I'm going to check how did you know. So, so if
How
you
part is
know,
important.
yeah, how is important. Yes. So we don't have any guesses yet. I'll keep going. She's from Varanasi. Okay, we have Mukesh's hand up. Yes, Mukesh,
Shivani.
that's the right answer. And how could you guess?
Actually, I am also from Banaras, so she mentioned in one of the Toastmaster meetings. So yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, you get the points for that. Okay, so the third point that I've noted for her was that she recently completed her engineering. It's none other than Toastmaster Shivani Kumari. And before I invite Toastmaster Shivani on the stage, I would like to invite Toastmaster Mehak, our evaluator, to please share the objectives for Shivani's speech. Over to you, Mehak.
Thank you so much, Master Mohik. Greetings, everyone. Our speaker today is going to give a speech from the pathway presentation mastery. She is going to present the speech from level 2, project 1, understanding your communication style. The purpose of this project is for the member to give a speech understanding about the different communication styles and identify their own primary style. I wish the speaker all the very best. Timer, please note that the time for the speech would be 5 to 7 minutes. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mehak. Uh, there's one thing that I would like to check with the timer for the remainder of the speeches. So when Toastmaster Mukesh, when you share the timer, it kind of blocks the view, at least for me. It could be just me, and therefore I'm checking if that's creating a uh, issue for other audience members also, in which case we can maybe do something about it. Is that a concern for others also? Are you able to see the speaker properly when the timer card is shared?
Even for me, the timer is the center, like that's the spotlight, and speaker is in the gallery.
Right. Okay. In that case, Toastmaster Mukesh, I would request if you can share the timer only when the clock hits 5 minutes, for example, for this speech, and then have it up for a few seconds and then take it off, bring it back when it's close to 6 minutes. And similarly, when it's close to 7 minutes, you can uh, have it back there. If that is okay with you, that
Yeah,
may give
that's
a good
okay.
experience. Yeah,
Yeah, sure.
perfect. Okay, thank you. All right. So, Shivani Kumari, when trains tested my patience and luck, when trains tested my patience and luck, Shivani Kumari.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mohit. Indian Railways, one of the largest railway network in the world. I think almost everyone in India has experienced late running trains at least once. Am I right? Or am I right? I know I'm right. Sometimes it get delayed because bad weathers, fog, traffic on tracks, and some technical problems. But sometimes people themselves also reach the station late and then blame the train. For passengers, delays can be very frustrating, especially when we have important or special plans. During my college, trains journey were a big part of my life. One incident happened when I was going home for Holi festival. My college is in Kanpur and I live in Saktinagar, Singrauli. There is no direct train from Kanpur to Singrauli. Only one train, that is Trivedi Express, goes there. But it passes through Lucknow or Prayagraj, not Kanpur. So my train was scheduled from Lucknow around 3:45 p.m. So I took a bus from Kanpur bus stand around 12:45 p.m. Even through even though the bus was on right time, I was very nervous because I took a bus late. It felt like I had missed my train. I kept checking train running status again and again. The time crossed 4 p.m. I thought I had missed my train. But when I checked my phone again, I saw that the train was still standing on the platform, but showing departure. I got down from the bus and started running towards the platform. While running, I got a small strain on my leg, but I did not stop. Then I'm running like this. When I reached the station platform number 3, at that moment I saw the train was still there. My happiness was at its peak. But just when I about to board the train, it started again, moving slowly. I ran again, feeling scared and hopeful at the same time. Suddenly, someone gave a hand for help me, to help me. It felt like a movie scene where I was a Simran from DDLJ movies running like, and guess what? The only difference, my Shah Rukh Khan was not there. Instead, a kind girl helped me. Because of her helping hand and my last effort, I managed to catch my train at the last moment. But honestly, I was much happier about catching my train than my Shah Rukh Khan was not there. So, guys, do you believe luck when we don't give up? Just raise your hand. Yes. Okay. So, I think that day luck was on my side. Guess what? Next, when I was going home for Diwali festival,
I took a bus 10 a.m. in the morning. Still, I missed my train. I think all about luck. This train journey taught me a very beautiful lesson. Sometimes our life similar to Indian Railways. Sometimes it runs on time. Sometimes it get delayed. And sometimes it tests our patience again and again. We cannot control everything, but we can control our effort and our patience. If we can calm, keep moving, and trust in little bit in luck, we will always reach our destination. Not on time, but a good lesson to tell. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster Mohit.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shivani. Yeah, there's completely relatable. I'm sure we all have our stories, maybe not as interesting as you, but we all have stories about trains and delays and all that. In my case, when I'm early, the train is usually very late, and when I'm on time, and when I'm late, definitely I miss the train. That's what happens. So let's have 1 minute for the audience to share their comments now for Toastmaster Shivani's speech. Toastmaster
1 minute is
Mukesh,
over.
thank you, Toastmaster Mukesh. It's now time for us to call on stage our next speaker. Our next speaker, now there are hints again. So the first hint for this speaker is she has worked at big technology companies. Does that ring a bell with anyone? Okay. She has returned from the US to contribute to Indian IT. Okay, Mukesh, and so many raise of hands now. Okay. Wow. There's a huge respect for people who come back after their stints in abroad. So let's ask someone. Okay, let's go with Simi. Hi, Simi. Who do you think that
Yeah,
person is?
Toastmaster Soumya.
Ah, that's exactly right. And how could you guess that?
Because I'm a regularly attending these meetings, and in last meeting she introduced herself, so that helped me know her more.
Fantastic. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Okay. So Toastmaster Soumya's speech will be evaluated by Toastmaster Gopal again. So I would invite Toastmaster Gopal on the stage to share the objectives for Toastmaster Soumya's speech.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mohit. Toastmaster Soumya is going to deliver her speech from the pathway Dynamic Leadership. It's level 1 and project 2. Objective of the speech is speech with purpose. So my focus will be there on the purpose. Timer, please note, time is 5 to 7 minutes for the Toastmasters Soumya. All the best, Toastmasters Soumya. Over to you, Toastmaster Mohit.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gopal. Toastmaster Soumya, audio video check. Could you repeat after me? I love my India.
I love my India.
Okay, great. Yes, we can hear you all right, and you're visible also. Toastmaster Soumya Batra, unconditional love, Soumya Batra.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mohit. Uh, good afternoon to all the Toastmasters and guests present here. When we hear the term unconditional love, we often think of one dynamic: parents and children, and sometimes couples. Many people spend their entire lives looking for this mythical kind of love, only to conclude that it doesn't exist for them. But is it really that rare? Or have we been looking for it in the wrong places? My parents bought our house back in 2006. It was in a regular colony in Vasant Kunj. As a teenager growing up, I enjoyed the open spaces and the playgrounds that the colony had to offer. My favorite activity was playing badminton in the yellow sanded park right in front of my house. But apart from that, I didn't really pay that much attention to it. It was just a very normal colony. Few years later, I moved out first for undergrad, then work, and spent nearly 16, 17 years away from home. Of course, I visited during holidays, but I never really lived there. Until one fine day, I packed my bike. Until one fine day, I packed my bags and moved back for good. This is when I noticed. Every morning, I was waking up to the sound of chirping birds and the scent of amalta's flowers. When I would step outside on my balcony, I would see rows of giant trees filled with brightly colored yellow and red flowers, some even hosting flocks of parrots. The once yellow sanded park was now surrounded in layers of flowers and trees. You could see and hear peacocks sitting in at some rooftop going about their day. And this wasn't occasional. It was an everyday occurrence. It honestly felt like I was living less in a colony inside a city than living inside a rainforest. And I wondered, where did all of this come from? Yes, it had been a while since I lived there, but I remember the place being quite dry. Certainly not this thriving ecosystem, what it had become now. So I asked my mom. She told me that about 20, 30 years ago, the place was indeed very dry. And that's when the residents got together, designed a layout, and started planting saplings, knowing fully well that it would take decades before they grow into proper trees. And 20 years later, we were enjoying the fruits of their efforts. That's when it struck me. How is this not unconditional love? Think about it. Strangers 30 years ago decided to plant trees, many of them not even alive to see the fruits of it. Yes, they perhaps did it for their children, but also For some strangers in the future, they never even meet. Some of these future beneficiaries might have even annoyed them in their younger days by smashing their windows with their cricket balls. Yet these people didn't care any Yet these people didn't care about any of this and planted the trees without any recognition, without any reciprocation, without the beneficiaries even knowing who they were. This is unconditional love. Once I saw this, I realized that we are in fact surrounded by unconditional love. It's in the people who've been fighting for a cleaner environment for decades, despite the odds against it. It's in those citizens who work toward a fairer, less corrupt society, even though the system actually punishes them for it. In fact, the birth of our country is rooted in unconditional love of millions of men, women, and children who sacrificed their lives just so we could live freely, despite not getting to experience that freedom themselves. I would go even further and say that the unconditional love that many of us search for has been within us all along, and that we already express it more often than we realize. When you stand up for someone who cannot stand up for themselves, that's unconditional love. When you contribute to causes that no one will ever associate your name with, that's unconditional love. When you go that extra mile, even when no one is watching, just because you love your craft, that's unconditional love. Recognize this spark within yourself and ask yourself, what seeds will you plant today that some strangers in the future can enjoy? Thank you.
Wow, what an amazing speech, Toastmaster Soumya. Very touching and full of lessons for all of us to take away. Um, yeah, I think true love or unconditional love is indeed doing things without really expecting anything in return. I would now request our audience members to take a moment to share the feedback with Toastmaster Soumya on the group chat, and timer will give it 1 minute for that.
Yeah, 1 minute is over.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mukesh. Now it's time for us to call our last speaker of the day. So let's keep the buzzer round on. And our first guess for this speaker is that this person believes that happiness is the new rich. Okay. Don't. Okay, I do have a raise of hand by Toastmaster Winnie. Yes, Winnie, go ahead.
I think it is Simi.
It is indeed Simi. How could you guess that, Toastmaster Winnie?
I did some cheating. I saw the messages and only Simi's speech is left.
Okay, okay. Yeah, it is indeed Toastmaster Simi. A few more things that I noted about Toastmaster Simi, which we all can uh, remember going forward, is that she comes from a quality assurance background and she hails from Punjab. So, Toastmaster Simi, before I invite you on the stage, I would like to call on stage your evaluator, Toastmaster Rashi, to share the objectives for your speech. So, Toastmaster Rashi, the stage is now yours.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mohit. Uh, Simi's speech title is Culture, Consistency, and Compass. It's her presentation pathway, presentation mastery pathway, level 2, project 3, introduction to Toastmasters mentoring. And I will be evaluating her speech on developing an understanding of Toastmaster mentoring. So, best of luck to the speaker. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rashi. Simi, we'll do a quick audio video check now. So, if you could say after me, happiness is the new rich.
Happiness is the new rich, Toastmaster Mohit.
Thank you.
Is my
Yes,
frame
thank you.
okay? Is my frame on the camera okay? Am I fully visible?
Yes, Toastmaster Simi, you are fully visible. Today, there seems to be something like with the audio, at least for me, for everyone, including yourself. It's not very clear. It's not as clear as it used to be before. It's manageable, and I don't know if there's anything you can do about it now. Uh, we can manage, but let's do another test though. Just say it one more time. I believe that happiness is the new rich.
I believe happiness is the new rich.
Yes. Okay. So Simi Garg, culture, consistency, and compass. Culture, consistency, and compass. Simi Garg.
Good afternoon, my dear Toastmasters. Let me talk about Ananya. She is a senior professional. In her leadership meetings, she is reliable. She is respected. But when it comes to speaking in front of people, her confidence steps back. In her organization, she attended a club named Orator Club. Not because it was mandatory, but because inside her, there was a wish to speak confidently. Before the meeting starts, her body reacted more than her mind. Her palms, they used to get cold. Her ears buzzed and her heart raced. She could see that blood rush. And she could only wish one thing. Any guesses what she was wishing before the meeting starts? Yes, I believe everybody is able to make a guess that she was, in spite of her urge to learn to speak, she was wishing that today her name is not called. Next time, she's rehearsing, she's coming prepared after having a good rehearsal in front of mirror at her home. And I'm sure each one of you might be able to relate. In some part of your life, you might have faced this, wished the same for you. And after the meeting ended, she just felt a sigh of relief. Not the confidence that she wanting, but only a relief. Meetings by meetings, she survived. 10 meetings passed by, and She could see speakers going to the stage, speaking their heart out. And she was still waiting for that perfect moment. And why was so? Because her own thoughts were judging her before anybody else could. She was having a baggage of being a senior, and she was thinking, what if people think how she has reached up to this stage of her career if she is not able to speak? What if people think that it is assumed out of her? What if she's not able to impress people? So that gave her a fear not to come in front. But that survival came at the cost. What cost? At the cost of her growth, her confidence. The opportunities missed, the days, the moments were delayed. She came across a thought. Ships are safe on the shores, but they are not built for that. That moment was a shift for her. She went to a Toastmaster meeting outside of her organization. She, as a guest, she again took a chair right at the back in an effort to hide again so that she does not get called out. This time, Topic Master asked her to share her thoughts on one of his simple table topic. She took the courage, she spoke for 35 seconds. And in her mind, again, she now had made a decision that I'll quit. This is not my cup of tea. But to her surprise, when evaluation section came, evaluator applauded her. Evaluator told her that she was very confident in these 35 seconds. She was able to speak to her heart and adding value to the public there with her good thoughts. So my dear friends, that was the first mentor that she got that day. And that mentor was the culture of the Toastmaster meetings. The positive culture where everyone is valued and respected. There were no hierarchies. There was no pressure to prove yourself. She met one of the friends who told her about the positivity, about the growth he has got with these meetings. She happily joined an online club. And after 1 year, she could sense the second mentor in her life. That was consistency. The consistency that Toastmaster meetings, 52 meetings in a year, that is no less, my dear friends. So even if she was able to grab 10% of the opportunities, she was moving towards her dream. And the environment she is getting every week, the people who she was sitting with in that 2 hours were the third mentor for her, and that was Compass. They were setting direction for her to move. She was now no more clueless. Whenever she was falling back, there was someone to give her a message that you were very good today. The only simple thing you have to do next time is to keep showing up. So, my dear friends, today I'm not here to call out the title mentor that Toastmaster meeting anyways give us, but I am highlighting the other three mentors that are coming with no titles: consistency, culture, and the compass. And when people speak there, they don't only speak, they rise, and then they turn the table for others. They become themselves as a mentor. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Wonderful, Toastmaster Semi. Very motivating. And we come here week after week, and we are getting all the three mentors that you mentioned in your speech. And that's taking us to a place where we will become better communicators and leaders. Thank you so much. Wonderful. Let's have 1 minute of silence so that the audience can share their feedback with you. Timer, please note.
One minute is over.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mukesh. And that is a segue now into our next section, which is the evaluations. I would be calling on the evaluators one by one to share the evaluation for their speakers. Let's start with our first evaluator, Toastmaster Gopal, who's evaluating Toastmaster Mehek's speech. Over to you, Toastmaster Gopal.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mohit. We have something new to learn from each generation. This is the takeaway for me from the speech. Any speaker who is delivering the speech, if there is no takeaway, then it is useless for the speaker. And speaker did really great job in this. There was a takeaway that I could take. Now, two things: content and the delivery. Content was really awesome. As I mentioned that I could get a takeaway. That was really great. Now, in terms of delivery, the beauty of the speech was that facial expression and the smiley face. That was there throughout the speech. Language
Hello.
was there. Yeah, am I back? Yes. The body language was really great, good, but I felt it excessive in some places. One thing that I could note was that when we have to use the body language, it should connect with the word. Whatever the words are being spoken, the body language should connect with that. One example, with a polite knock at the door. Knock, body gesture came before the word. It could have been a polite knock on the door. Knock, knock. Body language, facial expression, pause. There are so many other things by which we can connect with the audience. It's not only the body language. Overall, I would say that speech was really great, great content, delivery was great, confident was there, smiley face was there. Speaker just has to focus on that. It's not only the body language. facial expression, pause, tempo of the speech. Those all, if we will amalgamate, then it would be really great speech. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster Mahek. Sorry, Toastmaster Mohit.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gopal, for that amazing evaluation. Now I would like to call on stage uh, it, the next speaker was Toastmaster Rashi, and I was evaluating her speech. So let's have Rashi on the spotlight. So Toastmaster Rashi, I think the best part about the speaker was her storytelling, the way she expressed her real life example in a very believable, a very relatable, and a heartfelt manner conveys what a strong storyteller the speaker is. Stories are the ones that stick with us and they bring about change more than the statistics or more than anything else can. So that was definitely the key thing for me. The second aspect that I like about the speaker was her audience connection. She used a very simple language. There were no jargons, no confusion, very simple, clear, fluent English, which the audience could connect with. They could understand every word of what the speaker was trying to say. It was an emotional speech, and the audience was able to stay with the speech from the beginning till the very end. Now, in order to make this speech even better, I have a few recommendations for the speaker. The first one is that the story was great. It was based on a real incident. However, there was no surprise at the end. In the very first half of the speech, we knew what was happening. And towards the end, as the audience, I expected that there was some more finding on what happened to that stranger, but there was no surprise element. Which, if there was some more research that was done and there was surprise, then it would make the message even more sticking with the audience. So one suggestion is to work a little harder to find out and keep some surprise at the end. And the second one is the audio and the video wasn't that great today. So I was not able to really notice the body language as much as I would have liked to. So something for us to check in advance and fix so that we can bring about a better impact. On the vocal variety, I think there was enough opportunity where you could use a bit more of vocal variety. You could speak in the language of the other passers-by or the person who you spoke to in the train. So there's enough opportunity in the speech to for you to do that. Overall, great storytelling, very high on audience connection. Only if you add more surprise at the end, increase or improve your audio video quality, and add more on the vocal variety, this would get from good to great. All the best to the speaker. All right, now it's time for me to call on stage our third evaluator, who's Toastmaster Kanchan. She will be evaluating Toastmaster Hirender's speech. So over to you, Toastmaster Kanchan. Toastmaster Kanchan, you are speaking on mute.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. When we ask for leaves, when we ask for leaves, it's like we ask their kidney. And this spontaneous thoughts grabbed the audience attention. And this is the essential skills for the public speaking. So kudos to you, Toastmaster Hirender. Now, I would like to present my observation on what went well and areas for the improvement. To begin with, commendation. You had a confident opening. You spoke well about communication styles by stating four types of communications language. I observed that you had a great body language. I noticed that your spoken languages were matching with your spoken words. Your speech objective was met. You had a continuous flow of speech from moving from intro to body to conclusion. You talked about positive and negative sides of each communication styles. You talked about collaborative uh, speech and expressive languages. And collaborative speech is essential for the negotiation, especially at the workplace. However, this collaborative type of languages or styles has certain limitations. We talked about expressive languages and you shared if we could understand the audience and accordingly we can have conversation, then it could be create win-win situations. Which said, I see area for the improvement. I observed that you were frequently looking at the ceiling while you speaking. I encourage the speakers to looking at the screen or maybe side by side to avoid look to avoid these situations. In sum up, you spoke well with confidence and your speech objective was met. I'm looking forward to hearing more excellent speeches in the near future. All the best and back to TM Moody. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kanchan. It was a great evaluation. I'm sure the speaker is going to take some insights away from that. Next, I would like to call Toastmaster Rashi on the stage to evaluate Toastmaster Simi's speech. Rashi, stage is yours.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mohit. So, to start with, the purpose of the speech was clearly met. To clarify everyone once again, the purpose was uh, to show that how the speaker envisioned the mentoring and share some experience of that in past. So this was clearly met when the speaker actually told the whole experience about how a speaker feels when they do the speech in the meetings, and we could directly connect to that because we all felt it sometime at some point of time. So it was really relatable. The three C's which were mentioned in the speech, culture, consistency, and compass, was really on point with all the experience and the story the speaker shared. One thing I felt was that as a evaluator, when I understood the purpose, I was expecting that speaker would share their own stories, although the purpose was met when it was mentioned about the person. But I felt that it was my expectation or maybe our expectation to hear your stories or experiences about the mentoring part, but the purpose was met. The other thing I would say is the stories which were mentioned along these three C's could be more tighter. uh, they were like a bit I would say a bit like it were not on point, but the three C's were. So that was one of the things. And the other thing was that you were a bit far away from the camera, so I couldn't note everything. And there was in between the timer screen and those were coming up, so I couldn't see all the gesture you have made. So that was the thing. You can see that how this can be next time avoided, so that we can see your view correctly. And also, I would say that we need to ourselves do these checking on the meeting beforehand, so we can get the view speaker's view perfectly before they speak up, especially about that timer card thing. And all in all, the overall speech purpose was met, and as always, your vocal variety, clarity was there. Just the tightening of the speak would have been more better. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rashi. And I'm guessing Ananya is no other than Simi only. I could be wrong.
Yes,
Okay.
she's right. Toastmaster. Maybe I'm still shy to come out.
Okay, great. Now it's time for us to move to our next evaluator. Once again, I would like to call on stage Toastmaster Gopal, this time to share the evaluation for Toastmaster Soumya.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mohit. Unconditional love. Parents, children, or couple. This is how the speaker hooked with the audience. That means there is something else. That was really great point. Whenever we are coming up on the stage, the first thing that we have to do is we have to hook the audience. And speaker did it really very well. Every speaker who is coming up on the stage or here in this meeting has some USP. And USP of the today's speaker was that her voice was lucid, clear, audible. Each and every word was coming out perfectly in the air. And it is really very tough. It is things that comes up naturally. And speaker had that. That was really great. Content was great. Now every speak can become great, can be taken up to the next level. For that, I would say two things. The first thing, when speaker was speaking, I noted that speaker was having a look top, left, or right. And that happened when we are thinking something, which is perfectly fine. But it's not necessary that when we are thinking something, we have to look at the top, left, or right, because it questions the authenticity of the speaker. We have to maintain that. We have to maintain the eye contact, even if we are thinking. Now, the second, as I mentioned that speaker had a lucid and audible voice. One thing that could add cherry on the cake is the emotion. I felt that was missing. For example, I lived for 16 years, but I never lived there. It would take decades to grow the tree. So those emotions should come out. That would really catch the audience. I would say that overall the speech was really great. Speaker was confident on the stage. And in this digital meeting, speaker was really upfront on the screen. Speaker just has to focus on the two things. First is when thinking, it is not necessary that that gesture has to go to the audience. We can think even we are maintaining the eye contact. And the second was that emotion, if we could add emotion in our speech. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster Mohit.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gopal. That amazing evaluation. Now it's time to call on stage Toastmaster Mehek for evaluating Toastmaster Shivani's speech. So over to you, Mehek.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mohit. Have you ever noticed how the most ordinary journeys often teach us the most extraordinary lessons? Today's speech reminded me about this thing itself, the experiences through our words, pauses, emotions, and action. The speech was a brilliant example of how a simple train journey can turn into a powerful life lesson. My speaker today, Toastmaster Shivani, began with painting a vivid picture of the Indian railways and immediately connected the audience by asking a relatable question. Indian railways, they are always late. This instantly pulled the audience into a story and made the journey from the very first line itself. So kudos to you, Toastmaster Shivani. Coming to the commendation, there was an engaging storytelling and humor that was added in your speech throughout. The train journey from Kanpur that was narrated, sharing your emotions, your nervousness, your anticipation, the panic that was being created, and finally the relief moment when somebody held your hand and you were there on the train. Following which, the humor that was also positioned perfectly. It wasn't my Shah Rukh Khan, and that was perfectly timed. So great job done there. You allowed the tension to rise and then you released it with the humor, which kept the audience engaged throughout. Third thing is the effective body language and the expressive gestures that you use. Your body language was on point. From the previous speeches, I could see a huge shift. The repeated time checking, the running gesture that you showed, the heavy expression of I'm when you just thought that you would be able to miss your train. And finally, the passenger that helped you, and you clearly showing that gesture that how she helped you, that clearly added the visual strength to your storytelling as well. Lastly, the message that you shared. Towards saying when you shared a very powerful message that you cannot control everything and what we can control is our efforts. So, a very powerful and a strong message towards the end of your speech. Now, there was certain one recommendation that I wish to give you for a speech is that while your speech was engaging, it was well delivered and had a strong message towards saying the thing was the objective of the speech was understanding your communication style, which I felt was not rightly observed and addressed to. Since the project was to focus upon the different communication styles, for instance, direct, initiating, supportive, and analytical style. The element was missing in your speech today. So instead of introducing communication style explicitly at the beginning, what you can do to improve is to add it in your story itself. And towards the end, you can collectively say, or you could see that your constant time checking could reflect in the analytical communication style, seeking help from others could be in a supportive style, and towards then a quick decision making could be in the direct or the initiating style. So, this was something which has to be there in your speech. Overall, it was a relative, expressive, and an engaging speech with a strong opening, balanced humor, and effective body language. All you need to tweak is to add the communication style in your speech to make it perfectly aligned to the project that you have. All the best. Thank you so much. Back to you, Toastmaster Mohit.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mehek. And with that, we conclude all the evaluations for all the prepared speakers. It's now time for me to call on stage our tag team role players. Grammarian Toastmaster Akshit had to step away, so we will probably have our AI to do some work for us offline on that today. I'll call on stage our AHA counter, Toastmaster Winnie to share her report briefly.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mohit. Am I audible?
Yes.
Let me just share my screen. So, are you able to see the screen?
Yes.
So, this is the R counter report for today. I think Toastmaster Mohit, Mehak, and Gopal were awesome. I could not do much, notice much of asms, repeat words, or crutch words, anything. So for Mohit, I think only one R's and ums, and Mehak only once. And apart from that, the speakers, all of them were so awesome, so inspiring speeches. I was just hooked to the speeches, but anyhow, I could make a note of some of the CRPFs that I discussed earlier. So for Rashi, there were 15 plus R's and ums, and repeated words, three repeated words for her, and three pauses. For Hirinder, it was six R's and ums, five repeat words, and Kanchan, Shivani, I think not much of R's, and repeat words and pauses. Soumya, only two repeat words, and Simi, only few, like one repeat words and one pauses. So ultimate, like overall, I think it was an amazing meeting today, and the speeches were really, really awesome. I enjoyed each and every speech, and I could still note, as a part of my role, I could note some ASMs and CRPFs, and that is all. Thank you so much. Over to you, Toastmaster Mohit.
Thank you, Toastmaster Semi, for that crisp and clear and visual report. And with that, I would call upon our timer for the day, Toastmaster Mukesh, to share his report briefly.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mohit. Let me share my hope everyone can see my timer report screen. Okay.
Yes.
Uh, so most of the speeches within the time limit, and the most of the evaluation also it except I think the Mehak and Sivani is evaluation where it's surpassed the 3 minute 30 seconds. But most of the speeches and the evaluation has been done in the time. Uh, I will share this report in our WhatsApp group channel. Thank you. Over to you, Mohit.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mukesh, for keeping it short and sweet and still adding a lot of value. Now we come to the end of this segment. And once again, thank you to all our speakers, evaluators, role players, and the wonderful guests who all made today so powerful today. Now, let's carry this confidence beyond this room in our workplaces, homes, and lives. And with that, I would like to hand over the stage to our presiding officer, Toastmaster Hirinder.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mohit. And what a great meeting we have. First of all, I would like to thank to all the guest, role players, speakers, and special thanks to Toastmaster Gopal Juneja and Toastmaster Kanchan. So please give them a big hand for joining the meeting and sharing their evaluation skill. I'm sure the speaker will benefit with their wisdom. Before we proceed, I would like to check with guest Ayush. I think Ayush, do we have? Yeah. Ayush, how was your experience of the meeting? Would you like to share your feedback?
Yeah, yeah, it was good. It's nice hearing everyone's stories and some of the great examples and the perspectives. And yeah, I was not able to share my feedback because there was some technical issue. I wasn't able to access the chats. So yeah, but overall, like I like the format. I like how everyone had their turn and how everyone is accessed, like assessed by everyone, like on the team. So yeah, looking forward to being one of the members there.
Joe, we would be more than happy to speak to you. So you're already added in our WhatsApp group, so you can pick up anyone, and we'll be love to take your feedback. But anyway, we love that. Love to hear your feedback. I think Deepak has to stay away.
And
So
Rashi has her hand raised. She wants to say something, I guess.
yeah, Rashi, you want to say something? I missed that. Thanks,
Thank you,
Ayush.
Ayush, to notice that. Yes, so as per our own backstage discussions and all, we would like to have a survey done with all the members can participate in that, and also I would request the guest who joined today and to share their feedback. The form I have shared in the WhatsApp group. I'm not sure if that's the correct group where all the guests are present or not. So, Mehak, could you please check? I have just shared that MIS survey. So, we are trying to take some actions to increase our membership as well as the attendance in our day-to-day meeting. And I'm very happy to see that it was higher today. Uh, so, we'll try to continue that. And I think so, some of the efforts which are taken by the members uh, about mentioning that in their WhatsApp status and all, did made some change, or maybe not. But yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rashi, and thank you, Ayush, a potential Toastmaster Ayush. We would love to connect with you. Uh, with that, I think as your presiding officer, I'm okay to announce this meeting is adjourned. Have a wonderful weekend, and those who have long weekend, enjoy your 76th Republic Day. Thank you, thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you, Toastmaster Hirinder. Just a quick reminder for everyone to fill out this feedback and voting for today's meeting. It's on the group chat.
Are we announcing it here or Mohit, you
Uh,
publish in the WhatsApp?
let's maybe we can announce it offline, but just request everyone to fill this form out in the next 1 minute, if that's okay.
Listed.
Mukesh, if you are still here and if you can time for 1 minute, that would be great. And I'll see if we can collate the results now if possible. Otherwise, it'll have to be offline. But yeah, back to you, Harinder. Sorry for sort of barging in, but I thought we'll capture the votes and the feedback. Back to you. Maybe you
No,
can
thanks for
engage us for another minute or two.
no. Thank you so much for reminding that we have to fill the survey. How we liked it, and anyone wants to share any plan for the long weekend, any interesting plan or any suggestion for the long weekend plan? Like we have already half of the weekend is done. Anyways,
You can watch plays if you haven't. I found a nice activity to do. So Center Delhi.
sorry, I
Um,
missed that.
yeah. So
Center Delhi.
Center Delhi usually has been hosting either plays or these, outdoor concerts. And they've been quite interesting and very high quality. So if you were looking for what to do for one and for the rest of the weekend, I think that can be something to try out.
1 minute is over.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mukesh. And yeah, let me show you how I do the voting. See the results. Let's do it together today. Let me share my screen. So these are the votes, and best speaker. As you can see, there are lots of votes for Soumya and Simi. And finally, our best speaker goes to Toastmaster Soumya today. Huge round of applause to Toastmaster Soumya. Best evaluator, everyone has voted for Toastmaster Gopal. So huge round of applause for Toastmaster Gopal. Our best, okay, there weren't many role players of the day. So I'm the best role player of the day. I did a fantastic job. Thank you so much. Our best auxiliary role player, there were lots of votes for both our key role players, but finally there has to be one winner, which goes to Toastmaster Winnie as the R counter of the day. Everybody who voted said that they loved the meeting. One person chose not to put anything there, whatever that means, and that's all. That's how I do the voting results. I just thought I'll do it together with you to keep you engaged. That's it. Back to you, Toastmaster Hirinder, to close the meeting.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mohit, for sharing the process to select the best speaker, role player, and with this, I think we conclude the meet. We have successfully concluded the speechathon. Uh, best of luck for all the speakers for the next time when we plan to have a speakeathon. For now, uh, thank you so much. Enjoy your rest of the weekend. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye
Take
bye.
care.